All right. Hey everyone, this is Rudy, and I just wanted to share my thoughts on this Ebola thing, and I'm no expert, so you guys jump in the comment section. Although YouTube has made my channel so hard to use and so limited that I can't even reply to half the comments, and I don't get my messages, and they've got me penalized, and they're just doing everything they can to suppress my channel. The latest thing I got from them is that if I continue to abuse the counter notification form, that they could potentially delete my whole channel. So but anyway, as long as it remains up, I'll continue to upload videos, even if I make them less than 15 minutes. But let's talk about Ebola. Here's my thoughts on it, and I'm no expert, so take everything with a grain of salt. I'm not even convinced it's real, right? I'm not convinced that it's a real disease that really kills people. I think it could be a complete psyop, and I'm sure the people that think they have Ebola, I'm sure that they have something, right? But now it could be real. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying I haven't made my mind up yet. But whether it's real or not, we know that the government is corrupt, and we know that not more than a few months ago, Orly Tates was in Brownsville trying to stop illegal immigration. The point she made in her case over and over again is that Ebola could come across the border, and lo and behold, it has, right? And so if you're a dentist and you're working on patients that might have Ebola, that's a very good cause. So I think that, she's made a very good case, and I ask you to support her case in Brownsville. That's a federal case, and Judge Andrew Hanen. So her exact scenario is coming to fruition. And whether the disease is real, we know the government is going to use it. We know they're behind everything. They've opened up the borders. They've let Ebola come in. They're propagating the story. And they're going to use it for all it's worth to destroy America. Now, it's not incompetence. It's not that they're just making mistakes. They've got a design, and that's what you guys don't understand. You guys just think it's incompetence, or he's just some greedy guy who loves to be president, and he loves the power. And no, he's an evil son of Satan that's trying to destroy America, right? And he wants to kill, steal, and destroy, and he wants all of us dead. But you guys don't get it, right? You just don't understand, but you will. But tomorrow, I'm going to put a link in the information bar, and you can go check it out. But it appears that tomorrow, this evil Clay Jenkins guy, he's getting a lot of attention in Dallas. I don't like him at all. But he looks like he's going to declare a state of disaster in Dallas. And that's going to allow them to officially put travel restrictions on the healthcare workers that worked with the Ebola patient. I think his name was Duncan or Thomas Duncan. I could be wrong. I don't keep up with all this stuff. I just can't keep up with all the information of Satan, right? So anyway, they're going to declare a state of disaster in Dallas tomorrow. I thought that was a fake news when I first heard it, but now I've vetted it, and it appears it's really going to happen. And so that's going to allow them to forcefully put travel restrictions on like over 100 healthcare workers. Now, it doesn't take much of a stretch to say once they put travel restrictions on these healthcare workers, that they're going to set up Ebola camps and say if you have Ebola, or if you're believed to have Ebola, you got to now go to this Ebola camp. Well, it's not a stretch of the imagination that we're going to have our own Night of the Long Knives, like Hitler had, and all of the political dissidents, they've now got Ebola, and so the government will come in and say, we have evidence to suggest that, I'm just going to use myself as an example, but apply this to any of your political dissidents. We have evidence to suggest that Rudy Davis has Ebola, and he needs to go to the Ebola camp. Now, the law enforcement officials in my county, who are normally law-abiding, wonderful people, have been traumatized by the news that anybody with Ebola has to be sent to the Ebola camp, and now they will gratefully and gladly participate with the government federal agents that say he's got to go, and you need to go move him to the Ebola camp. Now that's just me as one political dissident. I ain't going, and I know that I'm just using that as an example. I'm going to die, right? I will fight to the death. Whether I die or not is up to the hands of the Lord. but I ain't going, and I know that there's a lot of you that ain't going either. But I'm just saying it's not a stretch of the imagination that when they push this thing further, that we're going to see Ebola camps, and then we're going to see the political dissidents move to the Ebola camps, those that won't fight to the death. See, I'm going to fight to the death, so I ain't ever going to see it. I made a previous video and says, don't ever ask me in heaven what it was like to live in a society where you couldn't own a gun, because I'm never going to be able to tell you. That I won't ever have that experience, so don't ask me what it felt like. Also, it's not a stretch of the imagination to believe they're going to come out with some Ebola vaccine that's going to be like the mark of the beast. So this thing has like the red meter awareness, discernment meter, like it's in the red gauge, man. We're like red meter. Now, is this really it? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's possible in a few months from now, all this is blown over and it was all fake, and Arpaio's going to release the information on who the forger is, and we'll have arrested him and put him in jail. And all this was a big psyop to try to get the news off the fact that we're about to, Arpaio is about to break loose new information about who the forger is, and his administration will go down. See, I believe everything ties back to the fact that America has sold her birthright. And I said this on a Blog Talk Radio, but I'll say it again. The Bible's going to last forever, right? Heaven and earth shall pass away, but the words of the Lord will not pass away. I think it's Matthew 24:35. The grass withereth, the flower fadeth, but the words of the Lord endure forever. Psalms 12:6 and 7 says, I will preserve my word from this generation forever. That's 3 different verses I just gave you that indicate the Bible is going to be around a long time. Now, Esau was called out by name as being hated of God. How would you like your name? Don't use Esau's name. Substitute your own name. Joe Bob Billy was hated of God, right? That's a pretty serious thing, because that Bible's going to be around forever. Right now, what did Esau do? He sold his birthright. When America doesn't stand up about Obama and the fact that he's a foreigner, and not a natural-born citizen, and we've given him kingship, we've given him commander-in-chief status over our military, our sons and daughters report to him as a commander, and we sold our birthright for a bowl of pottage and lentils. It's an issue of the issue of Obama's eligibility is critical to the survival of this nation. If we don't, you can't bring down Obama on Benghazi, on Fast and Furious, on the IRS scandals, on the privacy, because he's listening to all of our phone calls and all of our emails. You can't bring him down on any of the Snowden stuff. The only thing that's going to stick to Obama is the fact that he's not eligible to be president. He's not natural born, for one, and he's put out a proven forged birth certificate and a proven forged selective service card. Now, if we don't take down Obama on that issue, the fact he's not eligible to be president, and hold him accountable, then America will fall. We will see the destruction of this country. I truly believe that in my heart of hearts. And whether this Ebola is it certainly has all the signs of it, doesn't it? They're going to declare a state of disaster in Dallas tomorrow. They're going to put travel restrictions on those healthcare workers. It's not a far stretch that we're going to have Ebola camps. And it's not a far stretch that the political dissidents will be said to have contact with people that have Ebola, and they got to be moved to the Ebola camp, right? And nobody's going to recognize what's going on, because there's going to be a fog of war going on. And all of a sudden, we have this Ebola vaccine that's a mark of the beast, and if you take the Ebola vaccine, everything will be okay, But we ain't going to take the vaccine, we ain't going to camp. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but I'm just saying everything looks set up that we're the system's set up, it just needs to be triggered. And you want to know how to not trigger the system? Don't push forward on the birth certificate issue. But see, we've got to push forward on the birth certificate issue, because God has drew a line in the sand, and he said, if you want to save America, you got to take Obama down for his eligibility. I believe that's true. If you want to save America, you got to push forward on the eligibility issue. And that will trigger his card, which is the Knight of the Long Knives, right? Political dissidents into the Ebola camps. And then eventually it'll be shown to be a fake. And the whole thing is a charade. And then America will be forced to wake up that we have the son of Satan as commander-in-chief, president of the United States. And for people like Edward that think people like Steven Anderson and people that hold the belief that I do, that God's chosen people are those that believe in Jesus Christ, for Edward to say that Steven Anderson is a greater threat to America than Obama shows how totally disconnected Edward is to what's going on in the world. Edward is very knowledgeable and well studied in his Bible. Edward, if you're watching this, I hope that you are. I have respect for your biblical knowledge, and I've learned things from you. But you're so I guess your motives are so much to. I don't want to speak on behalf of your motives, but there's something terribly wrong with your discernment. The fact that you can't see a bigger picture of what's going on in the world, and that you think Steven Anderson is a greater threat to America than Obama. The things that you have called people like Steven Anderson, Hitler, hates the Jews, attacks the Jews, anti-Semite, it shows you have no discernment, Edward. Even though you might, have some biblical knowledge, there's something wrong. I don't know what it is. It's something terribly wrong. The fact that you can't see the evil that's moved in on our country and recognize it for what it is. But anyway, I just wanted to mention those topics. Dallas is going to be under a state of disaster tomorrow. There will be travel restrictions. We seem ominously close to a night of the long knives for political dissidents. And it appears that they could wrap in the mark of the beast with this thing too. Now, whether that happens or not, ultimately God's timetable will have to tell. I'm not worried in the least. I trust in God, and just like Job said, even if he slay me, I'm going to trust in the Lord, and I'm not worried. I'm going to go to sleep good tonight. I'm going to sleep good and have a good breakfast, and whether this is it or not, it doesn't change the way that I live my life. You know what? I've got to mow the yard, and I've got some oil that needs to be changed, and I've got some chores around the house that need to be done, and whether the apocalypse happens next week doesn't change the fact that, I've got chores that need to be done. I hope I didn't go over 15 minutes because I'm going to have to break it up if I did. May God bless the righteous. May God bring divine justice to the wicked.